Good morning, lovely peeps. Today in my vlog, I'm gonna address the anxiety and depression and how I have dealt with it, or really hadn't dealt with it. I've had quite a lot of women contact me and tell me they're in a real dark, depressed state with all the changes that are going on in their body, with this hidden illness that we all have, or a lot of us seem to have. And I just want to talk about how I was and where I come from and where I am today. When I started this vlog, I really had to think about what I was going to do when I started it, because for me to do it, I need to be honest. So I'm going to probably be quite emotional today, but it's not because I'm sad, but it's just because it's very hard to go back to a place where I was and be reflective on how I was feeling. So, as many of you already know, because I've already said in many of my other vlogs, I'm an accountant with my own business. I work from home. I was a single parent with two very young children, and I chose to leave the practice that I was in to work for myself, because it just was the best option for me to get the best parent and work balance. At the time, I could be home for my children, take them to school, pick them up, work during the day and work in the night after I'd bathed and put them to bed. So I've always worked from home, and then as my children grow up, nothing changed there. So I actually have fully functioning office at home. I do all my meetings at home. So it's an ideal situation for me. Now, about 3 years ago, I started just not feeling myself and being terrified, if I'm honest, to answer the phone. Now, there was no method or madness with it, and it wasn't something that happened overnight. It was kind of a gradual thing. I would be terrified of speaking to people and terrified of talking to people. Now, it's absolutely crazy, because the majority of my clients have been mine for, I would say, 10, 15 years plus. So they're people that I actually know, that I see. Some of them I see quarterly, some of them I see annually. But they're people you tend to know. So if they ring you, you tend to know what they're ringing you for. So to have that internal fear of kind of speaking to people, I just didn't understand it. Now, anyone that knows me, if you ask people about me, they would, and what I was like, they would probably tell you that I was loud, quite outgoing, a social butterfly. But that had been quite a bit of a mask that I've had to put on for the last 3 years. And also, I stopped doing things because I just couldn't face the world and get myself out there. Now, this kind of started with the phone, if I'm honest, that I would be terrified to put my phone on. Now, there's no method or madness. I might only have 3 or 4 calls a day. Some days I might have 25. But I mean, it wasn't something that that I ever had an issue with talking to people before. And it got to the point that I would quite often cry in my office when my husband and kids were in work. And I didn't know why. As I said, I didn't realise that it was the menopause, and I didn't realise that the menopause kind of give you these internal anxiety and depression feelings. So I kind of dealt with it on my own, because I just felt embarrassed to talk about it. And I'm always been seen as a strong person in my wonderful group of friends, as we fondly call ourselves, the Golden Girls. They always come to me for advice, and they still do. So then to be this person who was feeling this way, I just didn't even know how to express it. Since I've done this blog, I have to say, some of my very, very closest friends have contacted me to say how, down and depressed and anxious they've been feeling. So I'm honoured, actually, that they've really opened up to me, because as I keep saying, talking is key, and this has been so cathartic for me, and I've probably bared my soul more than I ever thought imaginable. And also, I never expected this vlog to take off in the way that it has. So I just didn't know what to expect, but I just knew once I did, I had to be honest, with not just you, with just myself. Now, I didn't know what was going on for a period of time. And I would have clients say to me, gosh, you're so hard to get hold of lately. And I just didn't know what was going on to say, well, actually, I'm dealing with anxiety and depression as a result of the menopause. And I just don't know how to kind of deal with that in a normal way because I didn't know what it was. I was one of these people, and I still am, that I try to deal with this in a real positive way, and which is why I started to do this vlog in the hope that I could help some women get some help before I did. My glass is always half full. I always try to be happy, but I am very good at putting a mask on for everybody, which is not always a good thing, because then people don't know what you're dealing with internally. So I keep saying this illness is hidden. Nobody knows what any of us are going through, which is why I think that we just need to get out there and talk about it. But for me, I started being terrified to answer the phone. Now, it was never an issue with my work. I absolutely love my job, and my work is the easiest bit of what I do, because I'm in the safety of my own home, in the safety of my own environment. I absolutely love my job. So the actual physical work side of it wasn't my issue. And emails were not an issue because I didn't have to face anybody or deal with anybody. I can respond to an email without having any human interaction. But dealing with actual people and having meetings was something that all of a sudden I struggled with, and I just couldn't understand why. It took me until 9 months ago, when I actually started my own path with HRT. As I keep saying, I'm not recommending anybody take this. This is my path, and I'm just sharing my own journey. But for me, once I first started taking the HRT, about 9 months ago, and I started to feel more well, it was just really easy for me then to be reflective and understand what had been going on for these period of probably 2.5 years, plus leading up to that. Now, Rome wasn't built in a day, and I just didn't all of a sudden start taking HRT, and I was this chirpy person that was on the end of the phone, because life just isn't like that. And every single day, actually, I wake up and I kind of go, right, rip the Band-Aid off. It's not bad, and it's going to be okay. And I kind of tell myself to rip the Band-Aid off. I get in my office, I put my work phone on, and I hope if any of my clients are actually watching this, they really haven't understanding what was going on. It's a bit difficult actually to bear your soul when people that you're working for are going to maybe watch this vlog, but I vowed that if I was going to do this, honesty was absolutely key. But I do now put my phone on every day. I do speak to people as they ring. I have actually, with the help of HRT, felt better in myself. I'm so irritated about this manufacturing shortage with HRT, because I've had so many women like me absolutely in a blind panic, because when you felt so ill previously, to think about going back to that is a real scary place, and I just wouldn't want to put myself or anyone back there. But I just want to say to you that it really does get better. And it's really hard reflecting on how I was feeling during those times, because I feel so much better in myself mentally now that I can't imagine going back there and feeling the way that I did. Now, I didn't confide in anybody. My husband knew I was in a bit of a funk, as we call it, and I was getting quite anxious. And all these symptoms transpired, along with my migraines, which really was started to be the menopause. But because I wasn't aware of these symptoms, I wasn't aware what was going on with me, I just didn't get help. Now, I just want to let everybody know that you can and you will feel better. And there's going to be times where, like me, you sit and cry all day. I joke, if I worked for a company, I would have definitely been sacked. Between the days I've had off with my migraines and my depression, anxiety that I was dealing with, I think I would have been sacked. But I just want you to know that we all feel that way, but you do get through it and come out the other side. And I do feel massively better, which is why I'm able to discuss this. I hope I've given you all a bit of insight today, and I'm sorry I was a bit emotional, and I just want to thank you all again for your continued support. It just means the world. Every message I receive just makes me feel validated while I'm doing this. So happy bank holiday, lovely peeps. We will get through this together as strong women.